Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your week 3 work. So this week we're going to talk about control, the control function, and leadership styles, and teamwork somewhat. So what you want to do is obviously read your lectures here. And so you're going to respond to one of the following questions. So you can either talk about organizational structure, or you can do research on Google and Walmart and compare those structures, or you can look and see, do some research and see what kind of control processes you would find in each of the 5 organizational structures listed up here. Or you can talk about quality management and what types might be found in these structures. So, that would be something like you would look up TQM processes, and there's many different types. Continuous improvement, for example, Six Sigma, benchmarking, quality circles. There's a million. There's not a million, but there's a lot that you can look up and find. So you can talk about that. So pick one and talk about that in your discussion following the guidelines that we have used for the last 2 weeks. And I won't go over those again, but oh, wait a minute. Respond to one and make sure there's a final conclusion in your initial post that summarizes points. And this is a good, it basically tells you from your research and initial post, what can you learn about structure and control. Don't forget that part. Okay, so for your week 3 project, remember, it's worth a lot of points. So you want to take the time to do well on this. This is about controlling. For this paper, you're going to analyze an entire company instead of just one manager. Make sure that you are using sources to support and defend your answers. Okay, so now you're going to research an organization. Doesn't matter which one. It's up to you. You can work there now. You could have worked there in the past, or it could be something that you're just researching. But you need to be able to find this information. That's basically the only guideline. So the first thing you're going to do is summarize the types of organizational structures and their characteristics managers might consider when assessing how to structure design and organization. So when we talked about the 5 different structures, you're going to talk about, kind of give you a summary of each. Assess which organizational structure the organization you chose uses. So you've got to be able to find that information out. And you can include a copy of that chart, but it needs to be cited. So make sure that you have a resource for that and you can cite it. 3, summarize the types of controls important to effective organizational management based on assigned reading. What you need to do is be able to understand what kind of controls are in place at whatever organization that you chose. So, one of the challenges of just researching one is finding that information. So I will be looking for that. So I'm going to, as you're reading about controls in your lectures and your text, be thinking of organizations that you know of that might use those kinds of controls. And keep a note of that in your head before you attempt this assignment, but you need to be able to have that information. Explain the two control management systems used in the organization. So you're going to explain that here. Or wait a minute, you're going to explain that here. I'm sorry, I skipped a lot. So for 3, you're going to talk about controls that would be used in effective organizations in general, and then you're going to have to find out, okay, so this is my organization, and here's the controls that they use. So, if that doesn't make sense, I'll go over that again. Talk about controls and why they're important and effective, and they're needed in general based on your reading, and then find at least two types of control mechanisms that are used in your chosen organization. I hope that clears that up. Sorry about that. Number 5, you're going to analyze the effectiveness of the control management systems in your organization in terms of whether the organization is achieving its purpose based on academic principles and theory from assigned reading. So in this case, going back up here, you've talked about what controls are important to effective management based on what you read. You're going into the detail of, okay, you've chosen this organization and here's what they use. Here are 2 methods that they use. Now, are they effective or are they not ineffective? That is what you have to determine for number 5. So, whatever 2 control management systems that you identified in this organization for 4, now you're going into, okay, and this is how they work. Are they effective? Are they not? Do they help the organization achieve its mission, vision, goals? Are there issues with the way that they're doing using these methods? Have they caused problems for the organization? Things like that. That's what I want you to talk about there. And then propose how the organization's structure, culture, management systems, and decision-making processes relate to one another. So when you're looking at these, how do they connect? How do they connect? Decision-making processes connect to, how do they connect to organizational structure? How does culture influence all of these? How are the management systems set up for the decision-making process? Things like that. That's what I want you to kind of connect there. Just kind of, how do these relate? It's a 4 to 6 page report in Microsoft Word and APA style. 4 to 6 pages does not include a title or reference page. That is separate. That is not included in this range here of 4 to 6 pages. So that's really all there is. I hope that helped clarify some of these. If I confused you worse, or more than if you are confused at all, just let me know, and I'll be glad to explain it in another way. But I apologize. That part got a little confusing only for the simple fact that I got ahead of myself when I was explaining it, and I jumped onto this and I neglected that for a second. So, but I went back over it, so I think it should make sense now. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to help. And I hope that you like the course so far. If you have any feedback or any suggestions or anything about the course that you feel that needs to be changed, please let me know. I like feedback, and if you find these videos helpful, let me know. If you don't, let me know, because they're always a work in progress. I usually redo them every so often. And sometimes I add more because of student comments, because, like I said, it's an evolving continuous process to get videos that help students and aren't just wasting your time. So anyway, thank you again. Have a great week, and I look forward to hearing from you in the discussions.